Okay, we're going to be learning now Halacha Psuka in Musar for Tuesday, Parashat Devarim Chok L'Yisrael. Halacha Psuka, במנחה של שבת ושל יום הכיפורים, אחר שגמר שליח ציבור תהילה לדוד וסדר היום, אומר קדיש, ומוציא ספר תורה. So it says here the order of the prayer on Mincha Shabbat and Yom Kippur. After we say תהילה לדוד, we say also ובא לציון. Afterwards, you take out the Sefer Torah, ועולים וקוראים בו, and then we call people up to read the Sefer Torah, ומחזירו, then we return it to the היכל, ואומר קדיש, you say קדיש, ומתפללים תפילת מנחה, and afterwards you say תפילת מנחה, which means the 18, the עמידה. וכן בתענית, also on a day of fast, קוראים במנחה, ואחר כך אומר קדיש, ומתפעלים תפילת מנחה, אבל ביום טוב לא נהגו לקרות במנחה. So also on a fast day, you also read in the Torah, and then afterwards you say Kaddish, and then afterwards, first before the Amidah, after you return to Sefer Torah, and then you continue to Amidah. However, on Yom Tov, we don't have a custom to read the Torah at Mincha time. V'yom she'en bo musaf, a day that doesn't have a musaf, like a regular day of Chol, כשגומר תפילת שחרית, אומר קדיש, ומוציא ספר תורה, וקוראים בו, מחזירו ואומר קדיש, ואחר כך אומר תהילה לדוד, בסדר היום כדרך שאומרים בכל יום. ואומר קדיש וכל העם נפטרים. So like if there is no musaf, then you bring out ספר תורה like on Mondays and Thursdays, and after you read from it and you return it, you continue to Teilah David and the rest of the prayer. Just there's a difference when there is Musaf, then you have twice Kaddish Titkabal. You do Kaddish Titkabal after the Amidah of Shachrit, and then you do Kaddish Titkabal after Musaf. מוסר, כתיב והזהרת אותה ממני באומרי לרשע מות תמות ולא הזהרתו ולא דיברת להזהיר הרשע מדרכו רשע לחיותו ורשע בעוונו ימות ודמו מידך אבקש. So here it quotes a pasuk in Yechezkel that warns us about correcting and getting another person to change his ways. If you say somebody who's going into the wrong path, is acting in a wicked way, and you're able to warn him, you're able to admonish him and to stop him from his wrong actions. And since you did not do that, he would be punished for his wrongdoing, but also the person who had the capacity to warn that wicked person and did not act and let him just act in the wrong way would be held also responsible. Like it says here, Vedamo miyadcha avakesh, I'll demand his blood from your hand. Because why? Because you were able to correct him and you did not correct him. Ve'ata ki zarto, tzadik chayo yichye ve'ata et nafshecha itzalta. But if you warn him and not to sin and he does not sin, he will live, and you've saved also your soul, because through the fact that you've corrected his ways, and he was able to improve his actions. Not only does he benefit, but also you've saved your soul. שבעה זרות כנגד תועבות ליבוך, נגד שש, הנה שנא השם, ושבע תועבות נפשוך, נגד שבע כחטאותיכם, ואתה את נפשך הצלת. So it speaks here that there are like 7 verses of warnings that correspond to 7 abominations of the heart, and corresponding to a certain verse in Proverbs that says there are 6 things that Hashem hates, and 7 which are abominations to him. And he explains here, מכאן שכל שנענש חברו והוא אינו מזהירו לומר אל תעשה, הרי כל העונש שמקבל מעלין על זה כאילו הרגו. From this we learn that a person whose fellow man, whose friend is punished, And he did not warn him about the wrong action. Let's say you see somebody who's acting in a way that is not proper according to halakha. You have the obligation to correct him. You have the obligation to tell him what you're doing is wrong. Because if you don't warn him, then you would be held responsible. All the punishments that person received, you'll be held responsible for those punishments because you had influence on him and you did not exert that influence. Okay? It's as if the punishment that the wicked man received, you could be held responsible for it. Because you were able, you had the capacity, and you should have warned him. You didn't warn him. You did not warn him. So you would be held responsible for the blood, for the punishment of that person. That's why a person should learn the books of Yir'ah, to learn to be God-fearing, and to be careful, to be fearful of the words of Hashem. So more than this, that the wise men take care and understand, so that he shall truly fear Hashem all his days. But this is a very important concept to understand. When you know that you can have influence on a certain person, then you have the obligation to correct him. Of course, it's an art how to correct a person, how to rebuke a person, how to bring him to do the right thing should be done with love, with as your brother, you want his good, not just to make him wrong. And there are times when they are better to remain silent if you know for sure that the guy is not gonna listen to you. The guy is so far away, you cannot ask him to correct things that are so minute and strict. Like it says, Kashem shomrim davar nishma, kach enorim davar shelo nishma. The same way that you have the obligation to tell someone to correct his ways when there is a chance that he would listen to you. So also sometimes you have to refrain from correcting him if you know that it's a lost cause in the first place. So you can't get involved into some of the strict aspects when there are things that are more and more important. You have to pick your battles, and of course the intention is to get every fellow Jew to be on the right path. And surely the people that you have influence on, and even just a chance of influence on, you have the obligation to tell them and to correct them. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen.